Hello, everybody. Let's look at a system of equations. Let's see how things work. And let's go over some things very easily first. This is how to solve system of equations. First of all, we're going to use the elimination method first. Each one of these slides has the specific instructions, but here's the other instruction too. When you look at this first equation, I want you to notice that in looking at this first equation, you've already given values. And in this equation, you have 3x plus 5y equals -4. So we're going to use the coefficient of x to multiply by the first equation. And then in this second equation, we're going to use the coefficient of y. Pretty much this is what you do. You multiply each variable in your first equation by 3. So therefore you get 3 times 3x is 9. 5 times 5x is 15. And here it is here. You get -4 times 3 is 12. And now you have your new first equation. The second equation over here is just kept for the time being. You have it here as well. It is also 2x minus 3y equals 29. You have your new first equation. No need to be redundant. It's 9x plus 15y equals -12. Let's move on to the next step. Step 2. You were to multiply this coefficient in the first equation of y by the second equation here. Therefore, you're doing it with each term. So you had 2 times 5 gave you 10y, and you had 5 times -3, you still left 15y. And you had 29 times 5 is 145. If you get confused, people, remember to round. 30 times 5 is 150. It has to be less than 150. So if you're thinking, hey, my head isn't right, try to guess that way. I don't know if you can use a calculator on a test. Okay, and if you can't, this is how you double check yourself. Okay, now we are going to add the second equation to the first equation because we are using elimination. A lot of people get this step incorrectly because they tend to think that they're supposed to multiply both, and that's not what's happening. You are actually adding, and so when you add, you're going to end up with something like 19x. This is going to be 0, and let's go ahead and do this. 19x, okay, plus 15y minus 15y is 0. And then this is going to be 145 minus 12, which is going to give us 133. So here it is in the next equation. Some of the new equations right here for you. 19x equals 133. Now you're just simply solving for the value of x. When you solve for the value of x, you take the reciprocal of 19 over both terms. You end up very easily. It divides out evenly, and x equals 7. Guess what else happens, people? You're going to go back and you're going to go now take this x value and try to solve in the original equation by. Why is it a system of equations? Because the second equation is really helping you to solve the system. But you don't know if the system is going to work and if it's going to go into the first equation until you know better. Then you're going to get into rational roots and rational equations later. So that is now 7 times 3 is going to give you x is 7, I'm sorry, and 7, so you put just the value of 7 here. That's 21 plus 5y equals negative 4. And remember, you have to take out the inverse. If this were that you were going to multiply on this side, you would multiply. A lot of students have asked me, how do you keep that straight? Usually you multiply and divide when there's a coefficient, when there's a variable. Since there's no variable here, you're just straight subtracting to take the coefficient without a variable, or the constant, the number, whatever you want to call it. It's really a constant. You're just taking a constant, which means the term without a variable, to the other side. When you take it to the other side, because also remember 21 is stronger and you already have negative 4, it's negative 25. Now you should see this here. 5y equals negative 25. Immediately your mind ought to pop. What times something will give me negative 25? And here it's done for you. Y equals negative 5. Now you are here. Your solution set is 7 minus negative 5. So your x term is 7. Y term here is negative 5. That's your solution set. And that's just simply done through system of elimination. You are done. Thank you for listening.